getting into the grindy days of NFL football, November football. Your team was out there playing. My team was out there playing. We're going to hit all the teams, have a little fun here on the Morning Juice. Can't wait to get this started. Let's get going. I say right about now. Welcome, everybody, to the Morning Juice, your NFL football show. And make sure that you're tuned in every Monday morning for the Morning Juice. My name is Keith Brugman. Can't wait to get this episode started bright and early on a Monday morning with my friend, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. Kenny, how we doing this morning, my friend?
Doing good. Been up for a little while, getting ready for the show. There's been going to be a lot of happy juicers in our audience today. There's probably going to be some unhappy ones as well. But if your team did well, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always next week. But ready for a fun show. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff around the league. Some toasted blind segment, blind rankings. But as always, like we always do on the Morning Juice, I'm going to give a toast. I've been up for a while. Already had the Lion coffee. Thank you, Patrick, out there in Hawaii. So we got a little afternoon lunch, little early morning iced tea going here. So a little lemon iced tea this morning for everybody. Juice it up, everyone, and let's have a great show.
Let's have a fantastic show, man. Talking about our juicers and talking about Patrick. He does get us taken care of. Gets us taken care of so well. I thought I had a reserve stock of Lion coffee ready to go this morning. I did, but I'm rocking the decaf. Might be a little bit slow this morning. A little toasted coconut, Lion decaf coffee, all out of the regular, and hopefully this episode goes as well as the juiced up caffeine episodes. Kenny, it's funny you were talking about, hopefully all your teams had some wins out there. We do go all the way around the league, and it's funny, I'm posting out to some of these groups as we go around, and I hit like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Houston Texans. It just went on a run of like teams that seem like were all winners on Sunday. Winners today, though, are going to be our audience as well, because we're going to start it off a little bit different today, man. We're going to start off a little blind ranking, make sure everyone's up and at them, get those brains a-flowing, and hopefully mine as well, the uncaffeinated brain. So without further ado, Kenny, we usually hold this a little bit longer, but I think this will be a great way to get it started as everyone gets in here, gets settled in, maybe gets their Lion coffee ready to go.
Gets their morning beverage ready. We're going to start with a blind ranking, and it's I'm going to give Keith and everybody else who wants to play along five answers, and it's going to, just like it said, it's a blind ranking. This week we are doing a football one. Sometimes we go off script and do a fun one, but this is going to be fun. This week's blind ranking, Keith, 2024. Now this was. So 2024, there was the survey of the 5 most hated teams in the NFL for 2024. Hasn't come out yet this year for 2025, so we got last year's. So blind ranking, I'm going to go right out of the gate and give you a tough one right out of the gate. I'm going to give you the team you beat yesterday, Bronco fans, the Kansas City Chiefs, 1 through 5.
In 2024, I'm rocking in them all the way to the top, buddy. I'm thinking that's got to be the hated team, the dynasty team, the team that seemed like they got all the calls, the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce Kansas City Chiefs. I'm putting them number one, man. I know they're on my number one hated list.
And Pearl's with you. She's going Kansas City. Hello, Miss Pearl. Good morning to you.
Good to
And good
see you,
morning,
Pearl.
Ernie, as well, on there saying hello as well. Good to see you both. I'm going to give you a team that's definitely been hated in the past, but 2024, where do they hit the list? New England Patriots.
There was two teams that just like went right to the top of my list, and you just went right back to back, Kenny. But it is the 2024 Patriots. Do you hate them as much as you used to? Probably not. But I'm gonna go right down this list. I'm going 1-2. I'm going Chiefs, and then I'm going Patriots. I don't know what the rest of this list is going to look like, man. But let's go there.
Good. A team that we're going to flip switches now to the NFC. Even my, I'm wearing a New York Giants hat, big Giants fan. Team I definitely don't like, Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm gonna put them in the 4 spot. I still want to hold out one for the 3, and I'm completely guessing on what the 5th one's going to be. But hated enough, I don't know if the vaunted tush push was in there, but and hated nearly as much as it is today when this survey was done. But certainly deserved to be top 5, I guess. So go ahead, put them at number 4.
Number 4, we've got 2 more teams. I'm sticking in the NFC here for this one. Another team in my division, Jerry Jones's Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Are they really hated? Are they hated that much?
Yeah. I think so. It's just not you hanging out in the NFC and not liking the Cowboys. I think it goes all the way across. You nailed my number 3 right here. The number 5, I don't know who it's going to be. So number 3 for me are going to be those Cowboys.
Team that surprised me on this list, you're going to have in the 5 spot is going to be the Baltimore Ravens is on this list. I will tell you where, if you nailed it with the Ravens in a second, but Baltimore Ravens, Keith, made the list. So you got them at number 5.
Number 5, yeah. And I feel really good about this list, man. I think I'm hoping I'm for an A+ here, man.
That list, that name surprised me. So I will say this, Denver Bronco fans, you're going to love this. Even our friends of different teams may like this. The Chiefs are number 1. Keith and Miss Pearl nailed that, and Ernie did as well. Number 2 is still the Dallas Cowboys. You had them at number 3, so very close. Number 2 is the Cowboys, and I get that. A lot of people just don't like Jerry Jones over there. Number 3 was the Eagles. You had them at number 4, so very close. And I definitely like that. The fan base is really tough there as an opponent. When you're an opponent, they come over to teams, and they just, even when they go to Giant Stadium, they try and run the stadium when they're there. They can be obnoxious, so I get them being number 3. The surprise here is the Ravens, number 4. You had them at number 5.
Holy cow.
And the Patriots were dropped to number 5. That was the one you were a little off on. You had them at number 2. But the Patriots, I get it. Drake May, Belichick's gone, Brady's gone. They're number 5. I don't know if they're going to get back on that list in 2025, but I think there may be some other hated teams that may jump those rankings. But you did pretty well. You were close on most of them, so I'm going to give you a B- on it. The one you were off on was the Patriots, but you nailed the Chiefs, and you were one off on everybody else. So that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I'll take my B-. Mama would have been proud me bringing home a B- on my report card. I'll tell you that, Kenny. Well, awesome, man. Awesome blind ranking. It is amazing, like you said, Baltimore Ravens kind of getting into that list. You never knew where the Patriots were going to be. Cowboys more hated than maybe I thought. And, of course, the Chiefs right at the top of the list. To be expected, man. Thanks, Pearl. Thanks, Ernie, for playing along, man. It does kind of transition us right off perfectly, though, man, because the first game of the week was the Jets and the Patriots, Kenny. and the Jets kind of fell back to their regular ways after a good week last week, and the Patriots, like you were talking about, maybe not the hated Patriots of days past with Belichick and Brady gone. And it's a new regime and feels a little bit different there. People are almost cheering on the Patriots at this point as they're wreaking havoc in the AFC East. Sorry, 27-14 victory. Good for them as they continue their romp and share the lead for the best record in the NFL.
Yeah, and bad news for the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets because you know Brady retires, and a couple years later, you get what looks like to be your franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years, in Drake May, who's in contention for MVP. 281 yards, 1 touchdown. He throws nine times to Diggs, 9 completions for 105. Trevion Henderson's starting to come around, 93 total yards with a touchdown. Justin Fields in the loss, he threw and ran for a touchdown in the loss. And the Bears, like you said, Patriots 27-14 over the Jets, 9-2, and the Jets fall to 2-8, and think they'll be in contention for top 3 pick and a quarterback for coming up in the draft with all those draft picks they did at the trade deadline. So Patriots are on fire, and Drake May, a dark horse for MVP.
Yeah, maybe the Jets did themselves a favor because they traded all those picks and then they went out there and got a win. And then, like you said, might be in the market for a quarterback come this offseason. Like to have a top pick. Patriots found theirs, though. I mean, ain't no turning away from Drake May at this point. They continue to rock and roll and have a have a lead in the AFC East. Watch out, there's some teams still coming around. One of the teams that's going to surprise us. I saw another podcaster say, "Look out! They might be in the beginning of a 5-game winning streak." Dolphins take down the Commanders at home, man. 16-13 overtime win for the Dolphins, pulling it out and keeping Mike McDaniel around for another week, possibly. At least it looks like it.
Keeping around for another week. This was an international game. I believe it was in Spain, like 9:30 a.m. And let's do away with the 9:30 a.m.s on the East Coast. It's 6:30 out on the West Coast where Ernie is, and 7:30 where you are in the morning. If your team's playing, who wants to get up that early on a Sunday to watch a football game? I don't. But 16-13, they did what they needed to do. Devon Achane again was the difference in this one. 21 rushes for 120 yards. Game went to overtime, Keith. And Riley Patterson, the Dolphins kicker, 3 for 3 on field goals. And the defense gets 2 turnovers in this game. Again, no Jaden Daniels. A lot of injuries for the Commanders. Down year after last year. Deebo Samuel in the loss gets 74 yards with a touchdown. But they fall to 3-8. And Miami, like you said, don't count them out. 4-7. They go on a little 4 out of 5. Even not saying they have to go on a 5-game win streak. 4 out of 5 puts them at 8-8 heading into the last game of the year. And you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know, man. Yeah, right now, I guess they could be possibly in competition with those 5-5 Chiefs. We'll talk about them here in a little bit too. But just a little shout out: Devon Achane his 21 carries, 120 yards. Right now, leads the NFL in Week 11 as well. So I always liked myself a little Devon Achane. So I kind of give him a little bit of shout out, man. Wish I was giving you a shout out, Kenny. Wish I was giving you a shout out in this next game because I honestly looked like a heck of a good game through the majority of it. I didn't get to see it, but inevitably or unfortunately, the Packers end up taking over the game in the end and end up beating Jameis Winston and the New York Football Giants. Man, talk about that game. I know you had to have been tuned into that one. So
I was tuned in. Elements played a big factor in this. The wind was swirling in the 20s the whole game and gusts up into the 30s in this game. Kicking was pretty much non-existent in this game. Passing the ball downfield was non-existent in this game. Jordan Love, 13 for 24. He did have 174, 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston on the losing side, 19 for 29, 201. interception at the end of the game. Jalen Hyatt, Giants. You ever see that show, 1,000 Ways to Lose, 1,000 Ways to Die? Well, the Giants are finding 1,000 ways to lose. Jalen Hyatt doesn't finish a route, which would have been a touchdown. Overthrown pass, miscommunication. Winston throws the interception, not on Jameis Winston. Jalen Hyatt doesn't run the route, and the Giants find another way to lose in the fourth quarter, and this is like the fourth one in a row. It's like Groundhog Day and 1,000 Ways to Die in the same, mashed up, and that's the Giants' season so far this year. But Isaiah Hodgins, a nice story here. The Giants had him on their team a couple of years ago, brought him over from Buffalo, signed him off the 49ers practice squad, knows the Giants system. He had 5 catches for 57 yards, and Tyrone Tracy almost 100 yards. But the offense isn't the problem for the Giants. It's the defense. And if I learned something, we're going to have a Giants show tonight. I'm going to be doing it, my Giants show. Maybe Keith will be joining me, so come check us out later. Jameis Winston's the backup quarterback. Russell Wilson, thank you for your, for your 3 games that you played with us. Three games of service and almost beating the Cowboys. But we're going to stick with Jameis Winston. He did enough yesterday to show me he can be a top backup in this league. And you're going to need that with Jackson Dart, the way he's been putting his body in harm's way. So
ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the truth? Yeah, beat up a team for you right now. And, it's tough when you beat yourself like you're talking about with the Jalen Hyatt interception, lack of effort, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a rough season. And you'd like to be in those games. I mean, like I said, I was watching the bottom line score in that game. I thought the Giants really had an opportunity, and boy, it would have been a big opportunity to take down the Packers as well. Titans had an opportunity as well, and took the Texans to the final seconds as the Texans continue to be strong in that AFC South division, but barely snuck one by on the Tennessee Titans. 16-13, Titans continue to reel in 2025, though.
Yeah, Davis Mills played for C.J. Stroud, who's still in concussion protocol. 26-41, 274 with a touchdown. Great numbers for Davis Mills. Nico Collins, 92 and a touchdown. Cam Ward, a decent performance on the losing side. He hasn't had too many decent performances, I would say. 24 for 37, 194 yards and a touchdown. Difference here is the Titans could not run the ball, 58 yards total rushing for the whole team. I think that was the difference here. And Craig O, in a loss, the tight end, led the Titans for 56 yards receiving. So the defense for the Texans has been finding ways to do it. And if they can get into playoffs, this could be a dangerous team, because we preach defense wins, and the Texans are doing it with defense. And, DeMeco Ryans, he's defensive coach. He's going to want defense first, offensive, make a few plays and win games like this. And, we know a couple other teams which are going to be talking about that have been winning games like this. So could be a dangerous team if they get in.
Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Texans took the Denver Broncos to the limit themselves. That defense is real, and they showed up enough to squeak out a win versus the Titans. Titans, another team that a lot of questions will be coming around the corner this offseason. We'll see exactly what they do, and I can't imagine them going yet another quarterback. But at the same time, Cam Ward has seen his struggles. We'll see what the timeline looks like for him.
And Keith, we got our good friend Paul saying good morning, and he likes the Euro games at 6 a.m. So cheers. Good morning, Paul. Get a little iced tea this morning. I've been up for about 3 hours, so had the coffee already.
Yeah, and Paul, if you didn't catch it, I'm rocking the decaf because I ran out of regular cast. So I'm hanging in there, buddy. I'm hanging in there strong. I don't know if I could be up for that 6 a.m. game like you without my caffeinated Lion coffee. Boy, talk about caffeine, and good to see again, Paul, but maybe the Falcons just need a little kick of caffeine. My good friend over there, Scott Kennedy, runs the Falcons podcast. I just feel bad for him, man. Every Monday morning now, kick in the teeth, man. As they lose one in overtime, 30-27, to the Panthers, Carolina Panthers, who I can't put a finger on this Carolina Panther team. Sometimes they're otherworldly and put up big scores and look fantastic and compete against great teams, and other weeks they're just not there and they don't show up, and their record shows that. But they got the win on Sunday and beat those Falcons. The Falcons are having a rough season, my friend.
And watch out for these Carolina Panthers. 6-5 now. Only a game back of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are dealing with a lot of injuries. We'll get to that game in a couple minutes. Bryce Young, 31 for 45, 448 yards. I had to look at this twice. I thought I was up early and maybe I was still seeing double vision. 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tet McMillan had his rookie performance of the year. 8 for 130 and 2 touchdowns in this game. Bijan Robinson, 23 for 104 in a losing cause. Drake London, 119 yards. But, man, you talk about a disappointing team. The Atlanta Falcons are right up there with some of the disappointments this year because they're finding ways to lose as well. And 3-7 is unacceptable over there when they were considered to have a strong draft class on the defensive side, a couple players coming in, and they were supposed to be in contention for that NFC South, which was going to be up for grabs. And hats off to the Panthers. Nobody had them, and they're right there in the mix. And if the Buccaneers keep faltering with their injuries, Panthers in their Jekyll and Hyde season might just be the surprise of the year and pull off get into the playoffs, let's say, with some more victories.
Man, Bryce Young woke up feeling like he was being coached by Nick Saban. He was in an Alabama uniform. Criminy, man. I think that's I'd have to go back and look, but that might be his best performance as an NFL starter. 31 for 45, 448, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, had a 123 passer rating. I mean, like I said, man, woke up feeling like he was in Alabama again, man, with the stat lines and the receptions and Tet McMillan out there doing it all, man. It just you talk about it, man. What an amazing performance by the Carolina Panthers and that Jekyll and Hyde season. Like I said, feel real bad for those Falcons, though, man. I thought they had something this year. They thought they had Michael Penix and an answer moving forward after they moved on from the Kirk Cousins experiment, or kind of, because he's still on the roster. Just a mess there, man. Tight game. I want to hit this next one here, buddy. Bears and Vikings. And I mean, I'm a big Kevin O'Connell fan, but he's got his hands full right now up in Minnesota, and the Bears and Ben Johnson, it's starting to come around, man. Starting to, like one of my favorite movies, Little Happy Gilmore. They're feeling the bull dance, doing the bull dance, feeling the flow out there, man. So, Bears get it done, man, in a 19-17 victory over the Vikings.
Bears get it done. Have we seen a season like this where I think, you have 1 or 2 surprises every year, but I could name probably 8 to 10 surprises this year in the NFL, that teams that are fighting for playoff spots or leading their division, like the Chicago Bears are now. When you talked about the NFC North with the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, nobody had the Bears in first place at 7-3, 10 weeks into the season. And in this game, Caleb Williams, not, average numbers at best, 16 for 32, 193. DeAndre Swift runs for 90 yards. No big numbers there. But Cairo Santos, 4 field goals, did his job with the field goals. Defense showed up. J.J. McCarthy struggled. Funny here, 16 for 32, Caleb Williams, 16 for 32, J.J. McCarthy. They had the same completion percentage and attempts. Difference was 2 interceptions for J.J. McCarthy. He did throw for a touchdown. Justin Jefferson not having a monster year, 61 yards. So the Bears held him intact. But Cairo Santos, the difference in this one with 4 field goals, 4 for 4.
4 for 4 and getting the job done. Hey, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. We talked about teams like that from time to time, and that's how the Denver Broncos are getting it done from week to week. Sometimes these tight scores like this, sometimes we're relying on your field goal kicker. Bears seem like they're got maybe a similar formula to their wins because they're, 7-3, like you said, the Bears. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it, Kenny? Kenny, I'm going to just keep rolling, buddy.
Keep rolling. Let's go. Yeah.
This is a game that I did not see. I haven't even seen a highlight from, but I want to go back and watch it just to see the destruction, my friend. The Jacksonville Jaguars had a little home game, and they welcomed the Los Angeles Chargers. And this looked like it got out of hand early from what I was watching, man. Chargers put up a whole bunch of 6 points to the Jaguars 35. My goodness, what a spanking. We haven't seen we've seen some lopsided games, but this is one that just stands out for the season already. Maybe it's because it's the Chargers in the division that I follow, but holy cow, Kenny, talk about this game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the first of the toasteds, and the Jaguars put the Chargers in the toaster and left it in there overnight. They toast them in this game, 35-6. Some mind-boggling numbers, and hats off. I want to give a shout out to Anthony Campanelli, the defensive coordinator for Jacksonville Jaguars. My friend Kurt and his wife do a high school sports show each week, Keith, and 2 of the schools in the state playoffs are Anthony Campanelli's brothers. So high school head coaches, they're state champions, a great football family. Know the Campanellis very well, and I'm glad to see Anthony doing very well there in Jacksonville. And his defense showed up yesterday. Justin Herbert, 10 for 18, 81 yards passing.
Holy cow.
Kamani Vidal, 5 carries for 13 yards. You know they're going to try and run the ball. That was their leading running back, 13 yards in this game. Keenan Allen led them with 53 yards. They get blown out. Jaguars improved to 6-4. Chargers fall to 7-4. Schultz-Tootin and ETN combined for 3 touchdowns in this game. So they ran it right down what Jim Harbaugh wants to do. The Jaguars put it right in his face.
Oh, Kenny, you're frozen big time.
I lost you for a second. My apologies.
Yeah. No, you're
big
good.
One for the Chargers.
Big one for the Chargers. Big one for the Chargers.
Big one for the Jaguars. Big one for the Jaguars, I meant to say.
Yeah. You had me messed up because, like I said, I didn't have my decaf. I put my toasted together. I have the Jaguars on there. So I'm definitely not going to put the Jaguars up on a toasted. They toasted the Chargers in this one. A lot of happy Broncos fans, like Pearl saying she loves it, and Paul's coming in here and say, woohoo, the Jags own the Chargers. And awesome, the Jags whooped up on the Chargers, says Ernie Mays as well, man. Another $400 million quarterback holding back the roster in Herbert, says Paul Schaefer. Might be a difference of opinion there as far as Justin Herbert, but man, he certainly hasn't been able to get him over the hump, and not over the hump in this game. That's for dang sure. That's a whooping like no other. And like you said, man, whether it be the quarterbacking, whether it be the rushing, it was just a complete shutdown, left, right, and otherwise. Sometimes it can be deceiving. You can put up yards, you can be performing and then miss field goals or going for it on fourth down, stuff like that. It just doesn't fall in your favor. And then, the stats don't, equal to the points. This one lined right up, my friend, and it was a big whooping. This is the game that I got to watch, at least a part of it. I'm a little bit busy in the early morning. Bucks and Bills, man, and this was a shootout for most of the game, back and forth and back and forth. The 32-44 score really doesn't give it the due justice it was as far as a game. I think they had like 8 or 9 lead changes in this game. But in the end, the Bills were able to pull it out. 32-44 victory for the Bills. They needed it. But the Buccaneers did too. I knew this was going to be a good game. Like I said, better than what the score actually shows.
Yeah, and I knew it was going to be as well. After not showing up in Miami, they showed up this week, Buffalo, and put up 44 on Tampa Bay's decent defense. So I had a feeling it was going to be like that. But Tampa Bay's struggling, and they're struggling for a reason. No Bucky Irving, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. Injuries are piling up over there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we just talked about the Panthers catching up to them. Buccaneers fall to 6-4 now. They're only one game up on the Panthers, and got to see their head-to-head. When they play each other again, because that's going to be a fun one and could be for the division there. But Sean Tucker filled in nicely for Bucky Irving, had 19 carries for 106, 2 touchdowns. The problem, like I said, was no Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. Emeka Egbuka, the star rookie's there, but he was held in check to 40 yards. The leading receiver, another former Giant, Sterling Shepard, 54 yards and a touchdown in this one. So thank you. Congratulations. It's good to see you, Sterling, still putting up some numbers over there. He was a nice little Giant for his days there. But Josh Allen, 317, 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, a little sloppy there, but he also ran for 3 touchdowns. So 6 total touchdowns for Josh Allen in this game.
Yeah.
And Terrell Shavers was the leading receiver for Buffalo. So that concerns me going forward with Buffalo. Do they have the firepower to make a deep run in these playoffs? Because it's the first I'm hearing his name as a top receiver on Buffalo. So.
Yeah, Buffalo, like we talked about, kind of getting it done when they needed to. They need to stay in that division. That AFC East is going to be a tough one. That NFC, I mean, I know the Bucks should come out. They'll be favored. They'll probably end up pulling out in the end, but they need to still keep stacking wins themselves. So, great game, fun to watch. Love myself a little bit of Baker. On a little side note, like watching those games. I'm gonna roll through this, man, and we'll just keep chugging and chugging, buddy. The Steelers got a big win. Unfortunately, they got some news as well. We'll find out exactly what that news looks like. But they got the win that they needed. They need to keep stacking in their division as well. But the Bengals, man, it's part of the reason they got the win. They went up against the Bengals, and the Bengals are just reeling at this point. It doesn't matter if they need Joe Burrow back in a big way. Let's just put it that way. Maybe that'll be the juice that they need. But overall, man, like I said, big win for the Steelers, 34-12 over the Bengals.
Second of our 3 teams that are toasted this week, and the Bengals might be we talk about the Broncos having the best defense, and I've alluded that this could be the best Broncos defense maybe ever, and maybe the best defense I've seen since 2001. This may be one of the worst defenses I've seen in a very, very long time. They're putting up the teams are scoring in the 30s every week against them. Mason Rudolph comes in, and got to give a shout out to Paula's Hotcakes in Pittsburgh. Those who never had Paula's Hotcakes, if they're out in the Pittsburgh area, had them many years ago. Little crispy on the end there, like pancake, but a little crispy on the ends. They're simple but effective. And that's what Mason Rudolph did yesterday. He took over for Aaron Rodgers, who was out with the hand injury, and he was 12 for 16, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Simple and effective. That's what got it done in this game. And the defense, they just, definitely put the Bengals colors should be brown and black, not orange and black, because they are getting toasted every single week. And I'm sure we're going to see them on this list again before the end of the season. But, Chase Brown, 99 yards in the loss, but Jamar Chase held intact, and T. Higgins as well. So they need Joe Burrow back, but it may be too late at 3-7. You may just want to sit him for the year at this point.
Yeah, maybe another season lost, another injury season for Joe Burrow. Bring him back, get him healthy, go for next year. Might be the best case scenario, but just seems like another lost season for the Bengals. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, that core that they put together. Trey Hendrickson, bringing him back wasn't enough, obviously, to make that defense a vaunted defense. They've just been getting piled on, as you said, and they get another one, 34-12 this week. We'll go from one toasted to another, Kenny. 49ers versus the Cardinals. Later game, man, and boy, I mean, this 49ers team, they can be good. Sometimes, it seems like they're struggling, especially in that NFC West. It can be a rough one, but not this week, man. They put up 41 points on the Arizona Cardinals as they go on the road. I mean, a short trip, but on the road, going to somebody else's stadium, put up 41 points over the Cardinals 22. Almost doubled them up there, buddy. Big win for the 49ers. Kind of a humiliating loss for the Cardinals.
Yeah, real quick, I want to give a shout out. Patrick's out there saying aloha juicers. 3 a.m., almost 3 a.m. out there in Hawaii, and he's hanging out with us this morning. Thank you, Patrick. I had some Lion coffee around 5 a.m., so right now I'm on a little iced tea, changing it up a little bit, but aloha to you, my friend.
I just want to give a quick aloha to Patrick as well, because he said he missed our post-game show yesterday. He was going to try to make it in, and make it in he did. He must have the caffeinated version. I ran out of the Lion coffee caffeine version. I'm on the decaf, chugging through. I tried to make it super strong. I got the French press out there, man. Probably a little bit too much decaf in there, seeing if I can squeeze some caffeine out of those decaf beans. But talk about this game, and Cardinals. Yeah. Lose again to the where was I at?
Yeah,
to the 49ers. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. See, caffeine, need the caffeine.
Our last of our three toasteds here. San Francisco goes into Arizona, and what was that? Remember the old commercial, Rice-A-Roni commercial? So San Francisco goes into Arizona, and they give the fans that San Francisco treat. Brock Purdy returns. 19 for 26. That was the does Brock Purdy come back, or do you go with Mac Jones? Well, Brock Purdy looked pretty darn good yesterday. 19 for 26. It's all you need from Brock Purdy. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, very effective. Christian McCaffrey did his thing, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. George Kittle, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. They put the Cardinals on the skewer, and they barbecued them. So toasted was the Cardinals. But listen to these stats in a losing effort for the Cardinals. That's why a lot of people say, stats mean a lot. Stats don't mean a lot when you only put up 22 points with these numbers. Jacoby Brissett, 47 for 57, 452 yards in a loss. 2 touchdowns, but 2 timely interceptions, the difference here. He also had 36. The difference also was you saw the 57 passing attempts. They only had 36 rushing yards as a team. But listen to these mind-boggling numbers. And, the 49ers were very close to being the first winning team to be on the Toasted segment. Michael Wilson, 15 receptions. I was about to put the 49ers secondary in the Toasted segment, but I held off. Very close. Michael Wilson, 15 receptions for 185 yards. Not to be, shortened, Trey McBride, 10 for 115 and a touchdown. 25 receptions from those two guys, their top two receivers. And 49ers secondary, very close to getting toasted, but your Brock Purdy and your offense saved you. And they got the barbecue going. And once again, they gave, what does it keep? They gave they gave their fans that travel to Arizona that San Francisco treat.
Love it, buddy. Love it. Putting yourself out there singing early in the morning, man. Good on you, man. Might not get that from me, man. Might not get that from me. But man, like you said, 49ers get a win. They, and that NFC West division, it is tough. It is tight. It's always a scrap it out type of division. 49ers, Brock Purdy, like you said, a lot of question. Do you pull a Mac Jones? He's been hot in favor of Brock Purdy. Got the job done, did well in his return, and Mac Jones might be the golden boy in free agency come this offseason. Speaking of golden boys in the offseason, Sam Darnold was the golden boy up there in Seattle, and he'd been chugging along, but man, he met up with Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams in LA. A tight game. It looked like it was a good game. 19-21. The Rams take home the victory, and like I said, just one of those divisions that they'll be scrapping to the end.
Yeah, let's start with the Rams. They improved to 8-2. Matthew Stafford in the hunt for the MVP. He had a decent game for his standards, but not a great game. 15 for 28, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams runs for 91 and a touchdown. Puka Nacua led the receivers with 75. Team is 8-2, right there in for the home field advantage with the Eagles. And I think this is the one team in the NFC that can beat the Eagles right now. And if they face each other, I know the Eagles got the best of them last year and earlier in the season, but it came to that blocked field goal from Michael Carter. Blocked field goal at the end of the game is where the Eagles got them. I think the Rams may have a shot at getting them. And how about this? Sam Darnold, 29 for 44. Sounds like good numbers, 279, but not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 interceptions from that Rams defense. Sam Darnold was not in his best form. And how about this stat? JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 9 for 105. Good 100-yard receiving day. 1,146 on the season.
Whew.
7 games left. He's got a chance for 2,000. We're going to see if he can get there. It's got a chance. And at 1146, he's going to need to average about 120 to 130 a game, and he'll be right there with a shot in week 17.
Wow. And it's funny too. You put up the Rams record. What's the record again, Kenny? 8-2.
8-2, and Seattle 7-3, so they're still in the hunt as well.
Yeah,
just a bad game from Seattle.
It's funny. We talk about all these different teams, and it feels like the Rams have almost flown underneath the radar. You know what I mean? At 8-2, not getting the love and the respect. But man, I'll tell you what, you go out there, you beat a division rival like this in a big game. I think it's going to put them on the map a little bit more. We'll start talking about the Rams. Like I said, tough division. It's going to be a fun one to watch to the very end. Here we go. For all of you who have been waiting, I know a few of you are Broncos fans out there, and the Broncos and the Chiefs played a little game yesterday.
Let's save that one for next. I got one 4:00 game I want to talk to you real quick about.
Okay, go right ahead, my friend.
Because I want to give the Broncos they deserve
some love and some time. Okay, buddy.
I had to watch the Bronco game on phone because I was one of the only ones that got to watch the Ravens and the Browns at 4:00 because I'm in the Maryland area and I don't have YouTube TV to watch the Bronco games.
All right.
But Lamar Jackson comes back, doesn't have a great performance, 14 out of 25, 193 yards passing, 2 interceptions. Ooh. Difference was Derrick Henry, 100 yards rush, 103 with a touchdown. Myles Garrett, another multiple sack game on the defense. Couldn't do it by himself. Dylan Gabriel, only 7 for 10, 68 yards. But you know why he was 7 for 10? That's why I wanted to get this out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Shador Sanders sighting yesterday. 4 for 16, 47 yards, and an interception. Shador Sanders makes his debut in the second half of this game and threw a complete clunker in. Maybe now we know why. When he was projected by Mel Kiper and some of those other experts as the number 3 pick in the draft, maybe that's why he fell to the 5th round. So, do your homework, Mel Kiper. He wasn't a 3rd pick in the draft, and you made a lot of noise saying that, the NFL got it wrong, the teams got it wrong. Shador Sanders, 4 for 16 yesterday, losing cause, 47 and an interception. Not good. Not good. And that's a team that's probably going to look for a quarterback next year once again. So they'll be on the 40th quarterback in 10 years.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That franchise, man. What a rough go, man. And like you said, you don't have an answer at quarterback at this point. You traded away your starter. Like I still remember Mike Tomlin on the podium saying, I don't understand. I don't understand. How do you start the season and say this is going to be the guy that's going to lead us, and then you trade him in the season? Wild things happening there in Cleveland. Good win for the Ravens. They need to stay on track. They need to get Lamar Jackson back and healthy. Didn't put a whole lot on his shoulders. Shouldn't have to beat the Cleveland Browns. Like you said, 23-16 victory for the Baltimore Ravens, and a lot more questions for the Browns, and maybe a few more answers coming around now for the Ravens themselves. So,
real quick, Keith, another hello. Michael Ronquillo came in perfect. Michael, I held off on Keith was going to do the Broncos a minute ago, and I said let's give another minute. Let's get the Ravens game out of the way, and what a perfect time, and Michael to come in because we're going to talk Broncos now. He's saying good morning, Keith and Kenny on the Morning Juice. Go Bo Broncos. The salute with the blue and orange hearts with the 100 stars. Thank you, Michael, always for your support. Greatly appreciated.
Always giving a
perfect timing, Michael, because we're about to talk Broncos.
Well, just about the perfect time. I figure we just knock out that Lions-Eagles game real quick because we haven't talked about that one too, and then we'll jump right into the Broncos. We'll make it our last one before we have a prediction as well. How's that, my friend?
Sure, I love it.
All right, just knock it right out. Paul's coming in here. Todd. My best impersonation, he says.
I love it.
I'll be honest. I was kind of shocked in this game. The Lions have been rolling. Thought they would come to play come Sunday night, but it was kind of a meh type of game. Nothing really got going for either team. Just enough for the Eagles in a 9-16 victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. They continue to roll there in that NFC East, unfortunately, Kenny, and Lions take a little bit of a step backwards, kind of a punch in the throat, from the Eagles as far as what they're trying to do in their division.
Yeah, same wins that affected the Giants and Packers affected the Lions and Eagles. I always tell my great friend Carson, big Lions fan, biggest one you'll find. He lives up there in Michigan. You got Jared Goff. You get good Jared Goff, you're going to win, and you can maybe go to the Super Bowl. When you got bad Jared Goff, you better take him out of the game after the first series because he's going to be bad, and he's going to be really bad. 14 for 37 yesterday, 255 with a touchdown and an interception. But the bigger question that people are going to start asking about the Lions, Dan Campbell or Ben Johnson? Should we, maybe we should have kept Ben Johnson? Dan Campbell goes for it 4 times on 4th down yesterday. 5 times. 0 for 5 on 4th downs. And talking like 4th and 2, 4th and 3s. Jared Goff was bad. The wind affected him. The elements of this team is a team that needs home field advantage, or they're not going to go far in the playoffs, unfortunately, in my opinion. And that was the difference. They held the Lions running backs to 74 yards, although Gibbs had 5 catches for 107. But Jalen Hurts didn't light it up neither. 135 on 14 for 28. 31 yards. He had the only touchdown of the game on a run, the tush push, of course. But he did. And Saquon Barkley, 83 yards rushing. But Vic Fangio's defense was the difference maker in this to shut down that explosive Lions offense to just 3 field goals. It's very impressive.
Yeah, that's so true, man. They need the dome road, like you were talking about. The Lions do really well in those dome type of situations. They go on the road, they deal with the elements. Might be just a little bit too much for them. Showed it last night. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to be tough. There's a reason that they're going to be in contention or sitting near that Super Bowl seat every single year as of lately. So tough one for the Lions, man. I'm always pulling for Carson, our good friend over there on the K&K Sports Show and his Lions. So I really wanted to see them get the victory. I know that you didn't necessarily want to see a Philadelphia Eagle victory either, Kenny. So we were all pulling for the Lions on that one. But the Eagles get it done, man. They might end up being on that top 5 list here pretty soon again, Kenny, that you started off the blind ranking, most hated teams. Boy, that Philadelphia Eagles team's got to be creeping into the top 5 this next year, man. That's for sure. Well, we held off long enough. Last game we'll talk about that was already in the books, man. Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs come to town. Denver needed this win in so many ways. Kind of prove a lot of the doubters wrong, including, Vegas, who had the Chiefs as an overall favorite at home, as not in their home, in our home, for the Denver Broncos. Broncos defense is going to be what gets this team as far as they go. Kenny, you've been talking about it. That we need to start giving some love, giving some respect to this Denver Broncos defense, maybe accepting this team for kind of who they are. This defense, what they did to Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, what Sean Payton, the plan that he was able to put out there to get this 22-19 victory, phenomenal, and now put themselves in the catbird seat going forward, man. Fantastic win by my Denver Broncos, and man, it's lovely to see a 5-5 Chiefs team. I might have to go back and see the last time they were 5-5. It's been a while. I think that's pre-Mahomes era since last time we saw a 5-5. So just hats off, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, this defense more than anything, getting it done yesterday, and go Broncos, man.
Yeah, great win for the Broncos. How about Will Lutz, 5 for 5 on field goals? When we talk about reasons why the Broncos won yesterday, you got to throw Will Lutz in there. 5 for 5. Bo Nix, 295 passing. Great job from Bo Nix. But again, like, I'm not saying I'm the only, there's many other people that say it too. The defense is the big reason why the Broncos are there, and you're sitting at 9-2. That's your formula to win. The recipe. Make Bo Nix make a few plays each game. Open up the playbook now a little bit. You saw some trickery yesterday. I didn't agree with the timing of it, but I loved the play. I loved this. If it worked, we would all be praising it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I just didn't like the timing of it. And RJ Harvey's got to use his brain a little bit. Don't throw it there, because if that's picked off, you're looking at a pick six the other way. And he threw that into double coverage. 2 guys were over there by Bo Nix. Very scary. But other than that, I got nothing. There's nothing bad you're going to hear me say about the Broncos. They're 9-2. This is a Super Bowl contending team because of your defense. And it's going to be a defense first, and that's how it's going to be. Will Lutz, great job on special teams. Jeremy Crawshaw, booming the ball, and Marvin Mims as well. So hats off. Jaleel McLaughlin came back. He had a touchdown in this game. He didn't, split it up, fresh legs. Maybe Jaleel McLaughlin gives you something of a J.K. Dobbins. I'm not saying he's going to put up J.K. Dobbins numbers, but maybe the fresh legs, maybe you can count on him to be the guy to get you those hard 4 yards when you need him.
Yeah. And I'm going to give a little special shout out. Jaquan McMillan goes out there, gets an interception in the red zone, changed the game from that perspective. Also, if you remember, he was also in on a big play as well earlier in the game. Later in the game, big sack on Patrick Mahomes. He came off the corner and
Yeah.
leveled the hit. Patrick Mahomes jumps up saying he got hit in the head and the whole nine, but they weren't having it. They take the sack, and like I said, good performance by Jaquan McMillan. We don't talk about him very often, as you know, it's a PS2 Riley Moss type of secondary, but this defense, man, played up to what the expectation was, got the victory, and took down the Kansas City Chiefs in a real game versus their starters. You know, kind of a changing of the guard type of feeling. And some people were calling for it at the very beginning of the season. Maybe this is the year the Chiefs don't take home the AFC West. Boy, it's going to be a tough road for them to do it, man. We just need to keep piling on the wins. I like this, though. We need just to go out. We need to get here we go. Patrick, always a tough go for the Broncos and the Chief. Time to rest up and keep rolling. And a great way to put it. Michael Ronquillo says, how about them Broncos? I'm stealing Andy Reid's line after the Broncos win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid always says, how about them Chiefs after every Chiefs win, man. Yeah, how about them Broncos? Absolutely. 9-2 Broncos. Going into a much needed bye, says Paul Schaefer as well, man. That's one of the reasons I love these late buys. If you can do it, if you can kind of get to this point where we're at right now, 9-2 on the season, and now you get the rest and you get the bye and you have one football game to play in the next 23 days. Just everything lines up really well for you to get healthy, feel good, and make that final push into the postseason. Frank Crum, yeah, big call out from Michael as well. Blocked that extra point, and that changed the dynamics of the game. Didn't make us have to go out there and get touchdowns. We could settle for field goals, get it all tied up 19-19, and get that last one to put us over the top. Huge victory for my Denver Broncos, man. I couldn't be more proud of this team. Got to go out there and celebrate them, man. Celebrate them. Wear your orange and blue all week.
Yeah, definitely. And the last thing I'll just say is, got through the gauntlet, and you don't care who's on your schedule. It was still a gauntlet. We're going way back now to the Jets game where you traveled to London. You came back to face the Giants on a short week, and there was the miracle of all miracles. You know, comeback, 1 in 1,000 chance of coming back, and you did it. And then the Raiders, of course, you got by on a short 3-day rest with the Raiders. You know, and you know, beating the Chiefs. Gauntlet is over. Now you get some rest. Heading into the second half of the season, the schedule looks very promising. The home games look very well. You come back and you face a Commanders team over here in my neck of the woods, and I'm going to try and get to that game. Tickets are as low as $45 for that game, Keith. You may see me there, and you may be like Jody yesterday. I'm going to be there at the Commanders game. I want to definitely go to that if I can get there, and see if I can get a friend or two to join me, and we'll have a nice little hopefully celebration over there in 2 weeks on the Sunday night game. So be on the lookout for Mr. Kenny K over there in some orange and blue, rooting for your Broncos.
I love that, man. And we had a great post game yesterday afternoon, I guess it was. As you alluded to, our good friend and co-host over there, Jody Moncrief, was at the game and give us a little bit of a few shots walking out of the stadium and just talked about it. And if anybody watched that game, you felt it, you saw it. It was just absolutely rocking in that stadium, man. It was probably the loudest I've heard it in I don't know how many years. So good on you, Broncos country. Kenny, we'll probably have to save the coaches
definitely.
segment. Yep. But we do have one last game to talk about. It's happening tonight. I don't know. There could have been two of the I wonder how close the Raiders were to making that top 5 list, because this could have been two of the most hated teams in the NFL. The Cowboys and Raiders square off, man. And on Monday night. Cowboys head to Las Vegas. So what are you thinking on this game, buddy?
Yeah, real quick, for those who came in late, we did the blind ranking at the beginning of the show. It was most hated football franchises of 2024, according to the 2024 season. The Chiefs, Bronco fans, were number one, Cowboys number two, followed by the Eagles. A surprising Ravens team hit the board, and the Patriots rounded out the top five.
Yep.
One of those hated teams tonight, Dallas Cowboys. And they're facing the Raiders, and they're both struggling. I'm going to go to real quick because we're running out of time. I think Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have a little too much offense for the Raiders. They come up with one stop. That's going to be a difference. If you like offense, I think you're going to see some offense in this game. Brock Bowers have a big game for the Raiders. Maybe this could be Ashton Janty's 200-yard running performance tonight. I'm going to go Cowboys 34, Raiders 27, and let the Cowboys and Commanders win a couple more games. Let them get a pick in the teens. They don't need a top 10 pick. Keep win a game or two. That's all I'll say. And let the Cowboys win one tonight.
There you go, buddy. There you go. I think this could be one of those games too, man. Maybe the Raiders have a little bit of a boost after last week, ready to go. They're certainly going up against a lot easier defense, going from Denver to Dallas Cowboys. But like you said, it's going to be all about offense. I like your 35 points for the Dallas Cowboys. I'll go ahead and I'll stick with that. I don't know if the Raiders will be able to compete. I was thinking about making it a closer game than it is. But, I'll say a 35-21 victory for the Dallas Cowboys in this one. Get it going a little bit, but I can't get on board with the Raiders putting up a whole lot of points, even against the Cowboys. So should be a decent enough game. Like I said, I had thoughts of adding another 10 points to the Raiders and making this a 35-31 game, because it could be like that too, man. It could be an offensive type of game. So could be a fun one to watch. Tough to watch the Raiders. Maybe I'll just watch them to lose. So that's what I'll be looking. Pearl is having to run and do stuff right now. Stuff to do. Great show. I just want to mention, usually try to do it in the middle, but Pearl has an amazing company, and it's our sponsor. It's Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets is your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold, at wholesale prices. They've been doing it for over 34 years. I'm telling you, if you're into any of that, especially with holidays right around the corner, maybe you have some friends and loved ones who are also into Southwest Jewelry, Pottery, and Estate Gold. Check them out over on Etsy. Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. All major credit cards are accepted, and all orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. So check out Morgan Trinkets, and good to see you, Pearl. Thanks for hanging out with us. Margarita time. I don't know what type of work she's working. She has to do. Have to run and do stuff to do. It sounds like it's margarita time. No, I'm not sure where that comment came in. I'm sure that's not what Pearl's doing. Kenny, week 11 almost in the books, man. Keep chugging through the morning juice. Year one, man. This has been another fantastic episode, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. You were the caffeine in my coffee today, man. Kept me rolling and kept me going along with everybody out there, the juicers out there who chimed in. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss us. All right. Kenny, some final thoughts.
Final thoughts, congrats to those people out there. A lot of Bronco fans in here. That was the game of the week, and could be the team in the AFC that the AFC is going to have to go through, and get that one seed now. Now you just had another thing checked off your board. You beat the Chiefs at home. You're 2 games up on them. Now it's go in the division and get that one seed. Let the AFC run through Denver. Second half of the season, there's no excuses. Your schedule's very favorable. Go get it done. As for the rest of the NFL, there's some highs and lows, like I said earlier. And we're going to get into this more in the upcoming weeks. I don't think there's been another season like this where there's been so many surprises at the top and so many surprises at the bottom. So we're going to get into that in the upcoming weeks. But thank you, Keith. Thank you, everybody. If you want to hang out and watch a Giants show tonight, I may have a couple horsemen with me tonight. hanging out. And I got a couple questions for them regarding some of the Broncos coaching staff, and see if they may be coming over to the red and blue. So I got some questions for them. So come hang out with us tonight. Be about 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain. We'll be on tonight.
Sounds great, man. Hopefully you'll see some horsemen, like you said, in full stride. Kenny, I just want to mention to everybody, they should check out the K&K Sports Show. You guys have a ton of stuff that's going on over there. We don't mention it enough over here on this network, but you guys rock it over there. Love your shows. We do have the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Maybe you're tuning in on that, or the Denver Bronco Roundup, doing shows all week long. Make sure you're checking us out. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify if you want to take us on the run as well. But I need to find some caffeine, Kenny, some real caffeine, get it in this body, and get all pumped up for next week, man. Everybody go out there, have a fantastic week. If you're a Broncos fan, make sure you're wearing those orange and blues, and juice it up, Kenny.
And for our juicers, juice it up, everybody. Have a good night.
All right, guys.
Good day, I should say.
Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Can't wait to be back with you next week talking about your football team. Till then, man, juicers out. Juicers out.